by live stream. So at this point in time, if you would stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we're trying this with a handheld mic with the masks. They're afraid that the other microphones won't pick up. So, remarks by board members. Do we have any? Mrs. Cohen?
Yes, I think we had a wonderful conference. The Missouri School Board Association had a 2-day virtual conference this last weekend, and they had some interesting people with a presentation. We had several good speakers in our general session, and I think it was very worthwhile, and I think almost as good as being in person, except you couldn't meet with your friends and discuss things in person, one-to-one type thing. So, but a very good conference.
Thank you. Thanks for attending too. Anyone else? Mr. Swanson?
Yeah, just again, thanks for those showing up here tonight, and I want to just shout out to all of our teachers and staff, custodial, food service, all the other employees for the hard work they've been doing. This has been clearly less than an ideal year. It's a lot of stress and anxiety, and we're all pulling together. And I know for the community out there, as parents of our students, and also we have had a level of stress, and know that as a board we hear and understand that, and just thanks for working with us just to get through this time, and hopefully in the months down the road we'll have a different look and a different vibe back in our school district. For right now, thanks. I know it's been exhausting and tiring and demanding, so thanks to everybody.
Any other board members? I think we can all echo what Mr. Swanson has to say. We're all very appreciative of our entire staff and the diligent work you're doing on a daily basis. Your labor is never in vain. So thank you so much. All right, Dr. Kinder, Superintendent's update.
Thank you, Madam President. A couple things real quick. You probably heard the announcement late last week, but Sunny Point Elementary is a National Blue Ribbon winner, one of 6 in the state of Missouri, about 420 nationally, so congratulations to Sunny Point. Also, I have tonight to present to the board a governance award for last year that you should have received if we had an MSBA in-person conference this year. So I'll let you hear, you can pass it around, but just a few of those handed out every year. So thank you for all that you did, and so appreciate that. So it's a nice plaque, and we'll hang that proudly here in our cabinet out in the hallway. Other than that, that's all I have.
All right, I will just add that the MSBA Governance Award is an award for school districts who are very engaged, not only in their local district, but also at the state level. And the board members attend MSBA events, which is our professional development. We ask, as a board, we ask our staff to always have professional development, and so MSBA offers that for us as board members. So that is part of the Governance Award. So this entire board has worked hard to make sure that we meet those qualifications, and so congratulations, everyone. Appreciate y'all. Okay, we have the consent agenda. I need a motion to approve. Mr. Westerman? Second is Mr. Seams. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. And it's 7 in the affirmative. Singer? All right, next on the agenda is adoption of our regular agenda. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Mr. Hawk?
Second.
Second, Mr. Swanson. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. And it's 7 in the affirmative. Thank you. All right, Mrs. Wolf, you're up. Yes.
Thank you, Madam President. It's my pleasure this evening to introduce Kyle Plummer as our September Employee of the Month. Kyle is a social studies teacher and coach at Blue Springs South and has been with the district since 1996. Kyle began his district career as a paraprofessional. He taught special education for 5 years and has been a social studies teacher for the last 19, while also coaching track and cross country at Blue Springs South High School. Kyle's outstanding classroom success led to his honor as the district's 2020-2021 Teacher of the Year. He was also chosen as a Kansas City Regional Teacher of the Year. Kyle served his country in Desert Storm as a member of the 325th General Hospital and was recognized by the Veterans of Foreign Wars as their 2017-2018 Teacher of the Year. Blue Springs South Principal Dr. Charlie Belt said of Kyle, "He is a kid magnet, one of the most important qualities of outstanding teachers. His students truly love being in his classroom. Kyle teaches all learners and challenges all different types of high school students to achieve. Regardless of the content or the course, he reaches students and they learn every day in his classroom." A former student of Kyle's asked some of her fellow classmates to describe Mr. Plummer in one word. They remembered him as goofy, energetic, caring, encouraging, and above all else, impactful. Kyle said in his Teacher of the Year application, "It was a dream come true when I was finally hired by the Blue Springs School District to teach and coach at Blue Springs South High School. I never take what I do for a living for granted. Every day when I arrive at the school building, I have butterflies in my stomach because I consider it a true honor to be entrusted to help my students and my athletes achieve their dreams and to help them feel a sense of community within my classroom." Colleague Beth Roberts added, "Kyle is special. If you asked him what he does well or what makes him a good teacher, he would reply, he's just like everyone else. He's humble, following his own compass based on what he would want done for his son and daughter. His teaching skills, knowledge of history, and kindness are what we all want for our children." Kyle's married to his high school sweetheart Tracy of 30 years, and together they have 2 children, Quinn and Chloe. Tracy and Chloe have joined him here today. Kyle's proud to be teaching in the district he graduated from and has been honored by walking with the Blue Springs South seniors for the last 10 years at graduation. Please join me in congratulating our September Employee of the Month and District Teacher of the Year, Kyle Plummer.
And then this plaque, District Teacher of the Year for Mr. Plummer, was not presented to him at the time, so we're doing that this evening as well. So well deserved. Thank you so much for your service and your cream of the crop.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you
You
very
want
much.
to say some words?
Of course I am.
Okay, share some words.
Thank you. I thought I was going to get out having to do a public speaking engagement with all the craziness, so I figure I better at least say a few words here. Just thank you so much for all the kind words. When you hear things being said to you like that, it's just so surreal and so gratifying. And this is not just an award for me, this is an award for my family, because when you're an educator, a lifelong educator like me, the whole family goes along for the ride. And my family definitely has gone along for the ride. And my wife, Tracy, is also an educator. She's an art educator for Green Valley Elementary. She could have easily been an English high school teacher. That's why I said high school there, because my thoughts were thinking that way. I could not have survived the application process for the district and the regional and the Missouri State teacher application process without my wife, because she has proofread hundreds of my poorly written papers over the years. I would not be here to stand in front of you without my wife. And Tracy, thank you so much. My wife and I, we both started our educational journeys together. We were high school sweethearts. We couldn't wait to get married, so we weren't too bright. We got married our freshman year in college.
And it was a tough road, but we both had a goal, and that was to be educators. We both were like-minded in that. We both did our student teaching together at the same time, and our marriage survived that. So if a marriage can survive student teaching, you can survive a lot of things. I don't know what was harder, going through Desert Storm or doing student teaching at the same time with my wife. Not that it was hard being with my wife. But Trace, thanks for everything. This award's for you too. And also Dr. Belt, my building principal, he always emphasizes in our staff meetings, create a positive relationship with your students. Job number one, create a positive relationship with your students. And I just thank him so much for that, being such a supportive administrator for me and the rest of the staff of Blue Springs South. You build a positive relationship with your students, and then all the academic and athletic accolades will follow. But you got to have a positive relationship with your students, or you're not going to accomplish near as much as you could. And so I just want to thank Dr. Bell for being such a supportive building leader for us. He's a great leader of our building, and through this pandemic craziness, it's been amazing. So that's all I got to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Mr. Plummer. I can personally attest to what a superior educator he is. The students in our home got to experience that from him, and also our daughter-in-law and Melissa Hemline Gilstrap, she ran a few miles with you, and she still talks about you. And when you became Teacher of the Year, I immediately texted her, and she was so excited. So I'm just so grateful for the impact you have on so many. Thank you. All right, Mrs. Wolf, you're up again. Student of the Month.
It is my pleasure to introduce Akani Tinsley, our September Student of the Month. Akani is a senior at Blue Springs High School. She is a member of Student Senate and an accomplished member of the Glitter Girls and Company. She challenges herself academically, strives to reach her full potential, and does it all with a positive presence. Principal Tom Alderman said, Akani embodies the traits that we as a high school want our students to strive toward. She's engaged in making Blue Springs High School the best school that it can be by her work as a member of our Student Senate. She's involved in school activities and is a member of the Blue Springs High School dance team and the Glitter Girls and Company. Above all else, she challenges herself academically and stretches herself to meet her full potential, all while having a positive presence about her. These traits are what make a true Wildcat, and why Akani is the perfect recipient for the Student of the Month. Wildcat science teacher, Dr. Joy Klutz, said, she is a ray of sunshine. With her smile and her vibrant personality, I really enjoyed having her in class. She's not only intelligent, but she has a very personable nature. She participates in so many ways in our school community. She's an amazing dancer, she volunteers, and shares her perspective in class, and she's willing to be a voice of positivity. When she's given feedback, her creative mind takes it and runs with it. She balances her time with all the demands on her, yet that smile and energy is always bright. She inspires those around her, myself included. She is simply awesome. Glitter Girls coach Erin Brown said, she is a rare combination of skills and spirit. As a coach, you just do not come across an Akani Tinsley very often, and when you do, you let her shine. You know that the team is in extremely capable hands, and her teammates will be better because of her influence. This is in part because of her leadership, teamwork, dedication, and perseverance. She's also a strong motivator and a role model for team members of all ages. She has encouraged everyone to be themselves and has defended, protected, and befriended those that need someone to stand for them. Akani is a strong student and has received an Academic All-State Award at the Missouri Dance Team Association competition each year. Next spring, she will leave, and our team and myself will be better than when she found us. Please, Akani is joined tonight by Tyree Tinsley and Lever Chancellor. Join me in congratulating Akani Tinsley as our Student of the Month.
Hi, I'd like to say a few thank yous. I'd like to thank the Blue Springs School District for awarding me this award. And I'd also like to thank my teachers for not only helping me learn academically, but helping me learn to use my voice and become a leader in my community. And last but not least, I'd like to thank my mom, and my dad, and my Brian for making me the beautiful young lady I am today.
Congratulations, Akani. Every one of us wish we could shake your hand and individually and congratulate you, but want to thank you for the example you are to your Wildcat peers, and that's obvious through this award. So thank you again. Congratulations. All right. Next, we have the MSBA update. Thank you. It's showing.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Missouri School Boards Association's board report for the month of September. We thank you for the opportunity to share some news and information during a few minutes of your board meeting. We begin with a look at the opening of a school year like no other. The continuing COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in a wide range of school reopening plans in Missouri. Some students are returning to full-time in-person classes, but with new procedures in place, including masks, frequent hand washing, and physical distancing. Some are returning part-time in school buildings and part-time learning remotely, while other school districts are beginning the year with virtual instruction only. And those plans may change quickly, depending on how the coronavirus either spreads or is contained this fall. MSBA, the Missouri Hospital Association, and the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education have released a new poster reminding students that they have a role to play to defend against the coronavirus at their schools and in their communities. The Be a Hero and Mask Up posters are being provided to elementary and middle schools throughout the state. The posters are an effort to remind students they can be superheroes by using hand sanitizer, keeping proper distance between themselves and teachers, and wearing their masks in the fight to keep their communities safe. The pandemic and the recent focus on social and racial justice have put the issue of educational equity in the spotlight. It's not a new issue for MSBA and our public schools, but it is one that's receiving greater attention. MSBA's Senior Director for Equity and Board Development, Janet Tilley, says school boards have a responsibility to ensure success for all students.
And a fiduciary has the responsibility of loyalty and trust and of care of the children within their district. And that means all children. And so as a fiduciary, you have to know what are the needs of our kids and how do we address all of those needs.
Tilley adds, equity is not just a matter of opportunity, but also must include access to that opportunity.
You have to dig a little bit deeper and to start to look at what are the processes or the reasons why those are the children who are in poverty. And you can't ignore it. We have to acknowledge the fact that a lot of these children are facing these barriers because of systemic processes that were put in place by the adults around them. And so we have to then know what those barriers are and know how to navigate and provide the access that these kids need.
MSBA has several initiatives underway to address the issue of equity, including 2 new board workshops, a book study available to board members, and the development of a toolkit designed to assist boards in examining their policies and practices through an equity lens. Contact MSBA's Board Development Department for more details on those initiatives. As many school buildings reopen, it's important that educators are aware of their responsibility to report cases of child abuse and neglect. A new video produced by the Department of Social Services, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, and MSBA is designed to heighten the importance of reporting child abuse and neglect as the new school year begins. The director of the Children's Division, David Wood, says an online reporting option allows mandated reporters to quickly share troubling information with the appropriate personnel.
Due to the recent pandemic and schools switching to distance learning, there has been a decrease in the number of hotline calls reporting child abuse and neglect. I believe there will also be a large increase in calls as students return to school, so we need to be prepared. The first step in helping abused or neglected children is learning to recognize the signs of child abuse and neglect. The presence of a single sign does not prove child abuse is occurring in a family, but a closer look at the situation may be warranted when these signs appear repeatedly or in combination.
The Department of Social Services urges every Missourian to be attentive to the safety and well-being of children during COVID-19. If you suspect child abuse or neglect, you can call the toll-free hotline at 1-800-392-3738. The hotline is answered 24 hours a day, every day, year-round. MSBA is pleased to announce Dr. Robert R. Redfield, the director of the Centers for Disease Control, will be with us live as a speaker during the first general session of the 2020 MSBA Annual Conference on Friday, September 25th. He will discuss how COVID-19 is impacting our students and schools and what the future looks like. The 2020 Annual Conference will be held virtually this year and will include traditional pre-conference sessions, general sessions, and other conference events. 30 sessions will be presented during the virtual conference on September 24th through the 26th. Additionally, a series of online sessions will be offered weekly to registered conference participants beginning October 6th. Those registered for the annual conference will have access to all content until June 30th of 2021. Check the MSBA website for registration information and a schedule of conference sessions. That's it for this month's edition of the MSBA Board Report. Thanks for allowing us to have some time at your board meeting, and so long from Columbia.
All right, thank you. Next we have new business, and we're going to be commissioning an officer. So I'm going to turn this over to Dr. Kinder.
Thank you, Madam President. We do have a new officer. I believe we have Mr. Sam Gilkey here this evening to start this process off. Let me say, give some kudos to Sam before we get started. Like a lot of people this year, he's had to step up and take some other roles. And so Sam is with Director of Student Services, now he's Executive Director of Student Safety. He's taken over for Tom Phillips over at the PCC and doing a lot of these other jobs in addition to that. So Sam, thank you for all you've done and we appreciate your leadership over there.
Thank you, Dr. Kinder. Thank you, members of the board. At this time, I'd like to introduce to some and present to others Lieutenant Mike Russell. Mike comes to us after spending 25 years in law enforcement. He started out his career in the Kansas City Police Department, but he spent the last 22 years here in Blue Springs in the Blue Springs Police Department. 10 of those years he was an SRO at Blue Springs High School. So Mike comes with a great deal of knowledge of schools and how to interact and conduct themselves at school. In addition to that, Mike has spent over 10 years as a sergeant for the Blue Springs Police Department. He's been in charge of, most recently, the Special Victims Unit. He's supervised the K-9 unit. He's done some tactical supervision. He's been on the bike patrol. He's done evidence and all of those different kinds of things. So Mike comes to us with a wealth of knowledge, and so we're fortunate to have him here. Mike is joined by his wife Shannon and his in-laws Richard and Carol. As I was showing Mike around a little bit and introducing him to some of the administrators, I was just impressed by the fact of how comfortable he was and how easy he is to get along with and speak to. Mike is a great person, and I think he's going to do wonders for this department. So, Lieutenant Mike Russell.
Say anything? I'm going to administer your oath in a second.
I just want to say I appreciate this opportunity. I appreciate you bringing me on board, getting to see a lot of familiar faces, and it's been a really good first day. It's almost like coming back home, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, now I'll administer the oath to you. So raise your right hand. I say your name.
I, Mike Russell,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to uphold the Constitution of the United States,
to uphold the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and all laws and policies
and all laws and policies
that govern the Blue Springs School District.
that govern the Blue Springs School District.
I will faithfully conduct myself
I will faithfully conduct myself
without partiality or prejudice
without partiality or prejudice
and with dignity and honor
and with dignity and honor
as a public safety officer for the Blue Springs School District.
as a public safety officer for the Blue Springs School District.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Welcome back. I believe that concludes our business for the evening. Thank you for coming. Go Chiefs.